Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Camera Peeps, and also please welcome our regular contributor and television industry historian, Andre.
Good to be back, David.
Good to see you again. What do you got for us today?
So today I brought in some monitors, and we're going to have a look at this as a PVM series. Now, you would have used this. It was early 2000s.
This was a staple for us guys on the road.
And as you can see up on the screen
that was
there,
my setup in the van of the day.
Yeah, so this would have been the reference monitor of the time, being portable, 9-inch screen. Now, the plugs on the back on this one, it's one of the last in the series. So you've got SDI, you've got composite, even S-video, which is there, and to power it, basically the standard 4-pin XLR, and this one allowed you to put the V-Lock battery on. So that would go on the back.
Yeah, great.
So that was a very handy thing. Now that would run for about 2 hours or something, wouldn't it?
It ran for a while, I can't remember.
So it was pretty handy, and these V-Lock batteries were quite revolutionary at the time. So that was this one, and predecessing that was another version of that, and this is an older version, as we can see here. And if we have a look at that, we can see that it doesn't have the SDI, but it still can run on 12 volts, and this one actually ran on the NP1 batteries, and it took 2 of them.
And that was the NP1 battery was a standard Sony battery for running beta cams.
It was, yes, that's right. Yeah. So you could actually run it for quite some time on that. So again, it had the 3-way power option. Yeah. Now prior to that one,
can I just ask, so these guys have got composite inputs?
Yeah, they all have. Composite is the standard. Yeah. Now this one is even older again. And as you can see, it needs a bit of a technical tap there.
Yeah.
I think it's saying, please put me to sleep, I've had enough. But anyhow, this one was an AC model only.
Yeah, okay.
So it really was more suited for like a control room type application, but it's much the same sort of monitor, the 9-inch screen. But if you had an inverter and you could run 240 volts, you could use it. So that's sort of in the 1980s, and the previous one was about the 1990s. Okay,
so cool.
At the time, quite a revolutionary little monitor. Now we've also got here a 5-inch screen one, another PVM one. Now this one also ran on an NP1 battery, which could go in there. But I've made this lead up, which is out of an old BP90 battery actually, and it can run it off a 12-volt power supply.
And so is that just a monitor only? It doesn't have like an RF input?
No, they're all just monitors, all these TV sets. So this one has line only composite video and no other option. So this was sort of, around the late 80s, in the 80s era. So these were good for really portable applications, which we'd absolutely laugh about now.
Link fans, things like that.
Link fans, just for field monitoring, playing back video off Umatic probably, or early Betacam recorders. It was just a sort of a reference monitor, just so you could just have a look at something in colour, because don't forget the viewfinders are in black and white.
Tell me about it.
So, that was sort of one of those things. Now, another one you'd be familiar with is this Toshiba one.
Yes.
So this Toshiba one was sort of like handy for live crosses.
It was. Well, it was probably the staple monitor before the 9-inch out on the road, and it had the battery pack underneath.
Yep. Now that battery pack, I don't think it ran for very long. I think it got about an hour at the most.
I don't recall.
And the battery pack is along here, and it could actually come off, so you could actually pull that battery pack off. But this one just had the RCA plug, so you had to have a converter to get the signal in there, but you could also feed an external 12 volts in there. But fantastic for using as a monitor and tuning in off air. So what we did for live crosses was we used to put an earpiece in for the journalist, and the journalist could actually take their cue off air, because back then there was no delay, it was live.
And that's right, and it wasn't a digital signal.
No, that's right.
That's right, yeah.
So what you see is what you get immediately, so it was perfect for tuning into the channel. So Channel 9, the reporter would have it in their earpiece, and they'd take their cue off air. So they were very much used.
And also another bit about those monitors, in my day, that was the monitor that was in the helicopter, and they made up a special bracket on the right-hand side eye line for the pilot, but I don't think it actually worked very well because of the vibration, and the pilot was busy flying anyhow, and once a bit of light, it wasn't really daylight readable, so I think they put a hood, tried all sorts of things.
Yeah, well, this one has a daylight hood, which is on the top.
Yeah, I don't think
so. That was very handy.
Mm-hmm.
Used to use that. It just would help keep the sun off the screen.
And I've got a photo, an on the road snap where.
Oh, there it is on the seat.
That's right. So this is early to mid 90s, and that's on a story we were doing on the Indian Pacific. Yeah. And Natasha Johnson was the journalist on that story, but this was a special.
And I edited a few of those.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. What a coincidence.
That was back on the BVU days.
But this was like a rare travel kit because there wasn't one monitor per camera crew. It was like you took the wide angle lens if you needed and signed it out, and that monitor. But also there, just getting off topic a little bit, the SP recorder needed that playback device,
adapter, yes,
and that's kind of sitting there behind it. So
adapter,
we used to carry a lot of stuff, but when you're that far from civilization, it was great knowing that. We had the material in the can.
So that was a pretty popular model, and that lasted well, and it still goes well today.
Yeah, okay.
So the other ones we've got here.
Yep.
This is a National, which is really Panasonic or Matsushita. Now this is early 70s.
Yeah.
Now this is quite interesting because it's black and white, and it actually has the UHF type connectors, which was going to be or was the video standard for then. So much the same, it's the same composite video signal, but it's black and white. Also has an audio amplifier in it, as all of these did, but the sound was pretty bad, but it was really just good for a reference point. It also has the 8-pin monitor plug, which a lot of VTRs had. That was a standard protocol up until about the late 90s.
So would this have resided in Edit Suites, News Exchange?
Yeah, it would have been, and this is a AC powered one only. A lot of portable video recorders back then didn't have a monitor, so this was a sort of an option. You could take that out somewhere. Security people use them for monitoring security. Okay. So they were sort of a versatile standard unit, but it still goes after all these years, and that's sort of something to talk about. Yeah. Now, another one I have here, which is
this guy. Just watch the plug because the plug comes out easily.
Righto. Well, this Sony one, this is quite interesting. This was made in the 1960s, and this was quite a revolutionary television set. Yes. It's actually getting, I've got an RF converter on there to sort of get the thing to work. So it's getting an RF signal feed in there. But this would be older than myself, from what I know. And it was one of Sony's smallest. Now, the very interesting thing about that is, here's the batteries for it.
Wow.
So these are the batteries. And they actually powered it through this pouch here.
Right.
So you had to have this Sony pouch here. And you put the batteries in, and there's a battery test meter.
Wow.
Didn't go for very long. So there's the batteries. Now you had to mix your own batteries up with the acid and all the other bits and pieces. So they gave you the whole kit.
That
was all amazing. Part of what was required, so as you could make your own lead acid battery mix. I mean, I could imagine this would be a nightmare if you took this on holidays.
Absolutely.
But that was the required chemicals to pour in there, and you would have to actually get the mix right, and then you'd put it in here, and you'd go off and you'd have your portable TV set that was black and white that would run on batteries.
But at the time, that would have been amazing.
It was revolutionary, So it was an interesting thing to have.
And because retro is in these days, how they make a traditional looking vinyl turntable with a USB port and some of the stills cameras, I think the Fuji, and they actually look like old cameras deliberately, but yet they're digital. I can imagine if they made a contemporary version of this, I think it would sell like hotcakes.
It probably would.
Yeah.
But the fact that this is still running, that it's made in the 60s, is quite amazing, and it just goes to show how well made these things were.
That is fantastic.
And it was also, it's very hard to find the battery packs that go with them.
Yeah, right.
But they were so proud of their invention at the time that they even had a box that was all nicely made up from Sony.
Wow.
And as you can see here, it comes with all the earpieces, instructions, and even comes with a nice little Sony cleaning cloth so you can clean the screen.
I think my mum had a hairdryer that came in a case like that.
Well, yeah, it's like that, or a makeup kit, whatever you want to say. So that was sort of a little bit of a step back in time.
It's pretty amazing. I was just about to comment that the amount of effort they went to in their packaging is incredible. But when you think about it now, that's pretty much what Apple do. When you buy an iPad or an iPhone, it has all this beautiful packaging. So
absolutely.
So Sony were ahead of their time, and they obviously understood the importance of it. So Andre, tell us about connecting up these monitors.
Right. Well, all these monitors I've shown you have had all these different types of connections from over the years. We've had the UHF one, we've had the 8-pin VTR, we've had S-Video. Now S-Video was interesting because that was the first of the trying to split the video signal so as you'd get a better transfer of signal.
It was big in the domestic.
Yeah, it was sort of, it was to try and split the composite signal up so you didn't get the combined loss. So look, it did fairly well. And then it went to the component. Now component actually did support high definition towards the end of its life, but component was pretty good because you split the signal up even more. So you got the YRB, so that gave it the best possible way of transferring. DVD players were really the kick-off of this system into the TV sets. And then of course the same socket became SDI, which we're using currently now, and there's HDMI, which I don't have one of those with me at the moment, but we all know what that looks like. So it was interesting how the sockets changed as the years went on.
That's pretty amazing, Andre, and a reminder of our technical past. And just to remind everyone, this is what we're working with now. This is great seeing this old stuff, but I'm happy in the professional environment.
We're very lucky that we have what we have today, but you've got to remember it was through all this we've got to where we are now. And despite the fact that we had to carry it around and all the inefficiencies of it, it is interesting.
Well, I can tell you, out in the field, it was with the black and white viewfinder of the cameras, it just gave us so much confidence. When we were driving home or flying home or whatever, that you knew it was okay. So they did their job. Fortunately, now there's monitors that do it better. So anyhow, so thanks a lot, Andre.
Good to be on.
And thanks for watching.
That's okay.